Interior Otso's bedroom, day. Thin rays of sunlight filter through the old shutters of Otso's little wooden house. The old man lies awake in bed, staring up to the ceiling, patiently waiting for his alarm to go off. The ritual will slowly begin once the clock hand hits 6 a.m. Otso will then painfully get up, brush his teeth, put on a track on his vinyl player, eat his herring, and make his way down to town where he will have a beer at his local pub, followed by buying some more at the supermarket to finally go back home and end his day. But for now, the alarm hasn't rung yet, so he stays in bed, respectfully waiting his fate. The alarm rings. Otso sits up, nonchalantly shuts his alarm off, and stares at the floor for a moment, giving him the strength to face the day to come. He finally slips on his slippers and walks to the kitchen. Interior Otso's kitchen, day. The pan sizzles when it comes into contact with the hot plate as the oil from the herring slides onto the dark metal. Otso turns on his vinyl player and puts on an old folk song from his country. The music has a crispy, static feel to it, but despite that, feels almost too alive in the still and dark kitchen where Otso slowly sits. The fish is almost caramelized despite the fact that it is drowning in a strongly scented oil bath that invades the room's odor. Sitting in its plate, waiting to be eaten, Otso patiently expects the singer to start its song. The lyrics begin and Otso takes his first bite. Exterior, Otso's front porch, day. Heavily dressed with a large beige fur coat, Otso saunters gently through the thick white snow covering the landscape far and wide. He reaches his rusty mailbox, caped with stickers of names from the multiple past owners that have been crossed out with different colored pens. He opens the box without really looking inside, knowing he doesn't have any mail, and closes it to continue his journey to his tired car. His semi-trailer shivers as he starts the engine. Exterior, interior, car, day. The radio turns on, letting out a white noise as Otso drives through the clean, modern yet deserted road. His gaze remains empty and bored. The car enters the little city of Itzengurg, and the radio suddenly starts to emit the same folkloric music Otso had put on in his home. The melody slipping into his ears would convince the most optimistic of people to seriously consider suicide. Interior, supermarket, night. Night is already beginning to fall as Otso completes his grocery shopping, the beers gliding on the small dark treadmill, making it mechanically easy for the cashier lady to beep the products one after the other. The old man spaces out the bottles that are going from point A to point B, observing their accumulation and drowning in the sound of each glass bottle hitting each other as they grow into a pile. The woman at the cashier, wearing a pretty little yellow flower in her hair and a couple of knife marks on her wrists, seems to be as excited about life as Otso, and probably rejoiced by the recurring folkloric melody playing through the supermarket's speakers. Interior, bar, night. Otso mechanically drinks a small beer at the counter of his favorite bar, despite the fact that this is the only bar in the city of Itzengurg. Jorg, the barman, has been cleaning the same glass for what it may seem like an eternity, all the while staring at the floor, lost in his emptiness of thought as he listens to the same folkloric song that is playing on the radio. On the other side of the bar, a couple is sitting at a booth and seem to be having a lonely time staring into each other's eyes. Despite the fact that his girlfriend is being rocked into deep slumber, this doesn't seem to bother the boyfriend, given his lack of reaction to the situation. Exterior, interior, car, night. Otso climbs nonchalantly back into his semi-truck, ready to drive back home, when suddenly the pale light of a neon flickers and attracts his attention. It is a sign of Itzengurg's Pound, a small and metallic shop where Otso has never gone to. He has seen the adoption center before, but for some reason he is drawn to the flickering neon today. Interior, Pound, night. The inside of the pound is even more depressing than the outside. Rows of cold, dark cages are lined up one after the other, with most of them empty or uninhabited by little animals asleep in the far corners of their locked home. Similar to them, the shop owner is asleep, snoring softly on his dusty desk. Sitting quietly by his feet, a small, pure white husky observes Otso with curiosity. The animal's tongue hangs out from the side of its mouth. To better observe the animal, Otso does not move. Interior-exterior car night. Otso is now on his way home. The city lights progressively disappear as the radio morphs into static noise and the dog's little ears stick out from behind the back seat. Interior-exterior Otso's bedroom night. Otso, sitting on his bed, is still wearing his coat, the snow melting onto his bed covers as he stares at his dog. He seems to be deep in thought, frozen, fixating the animal deep into its eyes. Finally, he slightly leans forward towards the animal, as if he was about to ask it something. Otso. Misty? The dog seems to recognize its name as if it had always been called this way, and seizes its panting and lifts its head to his new master. Otso lets out a slight smile and pets its dog on the head. Otso's bedroom day. Otso's mechanical morning alarm, drowned in sunlight, has not rang yet. The second's hand ticks towards the hour of awakening, and Otso, who usually lies with his eyes wide open as he waits for the exact time to signal the beginning of his ritual, is sitting up and observing his new companion again. The alarm rings, and Otso is surprised, disturbed by his ritual. He silences the alarm clock and turns to silently face his dog once again. Interior Otso's kitchen day. Otso doesn't eat his herring despite the fact that the song is playing and the food is cooked. He is observed by Misty's presence and behavior. Slowly, Otso turns to face his plate, grabs it, and sets it on the ground in front of the dog, who looks down, sniffs, and looks back at his owner. Interior-exterior Otso's car day. Otso returns earlier than planned to Itzenberg, this time accompanied by Misty and his little ears sticking out from behind the back seat, listening to the radio, transforming from static noise to the exact same folkloric song. Interior supermarket day. The same woman at the cashier sits as she drags Otso's products under the beeping machine. This time a little red flower sits over her ear to eliminate her dull and decomposing face. The cans of dog food pile up at the end of the counter, one by one, as Otso looks down on his dog, ignoring his surroundings. Interior bar day. The bar has gotten even gloomier than the day before. The hour is too early and the clients aren't very much awake. At the table where the couple sat yesterday, it is the boyfriend that now sleeps alone, sitting across a dozen empty beer bottles where his girlfriend would have previously sat. The barman stands still, rubbing the same glass as yesterday as Otso mechanically drinks his beer while looking at Misty slurping water out of a metallic bowl on the floor. Interior basement day. Otso opens the door of the large freezer and throws the dog food in, next to the beers. He notices that only 2 herrings remain at the bottom of the white box. He stares at the result of his diet and closes the freezer. Exterior lake day. Letting out a breath of air, Otso squints as he looks up into the clear blue sky that illuminates the white lake. He drops his bag onto the ice next to Mutsi and unfolds a little wooden chair. He sits and opens his bag. It is quite warm, and the sun caresses the 2 friends with warm rays. It is a promising day of fishing. Mutsi closes his eyes and lies on the white ice while his master pours himself a warm cup of coffee. Finally, Otso stands as he lets out a sigh and opens his bag to grab dynamite. He runs a couple of feet, lighting the stick at the same time, and throws it far away from him and his dog. Staring off into the distance, little did he know that Misty had gotten up to run after his new toy, convinced that this is all a game. Otso sees Misty run past him. His friend is already far ahead, and the dynamite has landed on the ground. Otso's tired face doesn't react, but he takes a few steps back, eyes fixed at the horizon, and sits on the little chair, accepting his fate. Musty's little paws tap on the ice, and as he runs full speed back to his master, dynamite in his mouth. The sound of the fire burning becoming louder and louder. Otso waits. He knows what will happen next, and there is nothing he can do about it. The sound of Misty's running is getting louder and louder as the flame grows closer and closer to the center of the stick. We can only hear, not see. And suddenly Misty enters the frame when a dark cloud disturbs the perfect white scenery surrounded by the mountains. Exterior Otso's front porch day. A man walks out of Otso's old wooden house and walks to the mailbox. A sign reading "To Sell" is covered by a sticker marked with the word "Sold." On its left, an old blue pickup truck has replaced Otso's. The man has arrived to the mailbox and sticks a new sticker under the other ones and, with a big red marker, crosses out the name Otso and marks his own.